Okay, can everyone see the screen all right?
Mhm.
Shelley, does it come through on your phone?
Perfectly. But I'm
Okay,
going to take
good.
my video off so I can eat my dinner before I go to work. So
Oh, good idea. Please multitask if you need to. Thank you all for coming to our orientation for February. We are going over tonight the Rotary hierarchy, and I might move a little bit quickly to try and keep us to our half hour, but feel free to jump in with questions if you have any at any time. I will also have time for questions at the end. Tonight, we're going to cover these 5 levels of the Rotary International structure. This is going to kind of walk you through all of our organization and the different leadership that's in place at every level as well. And we're going to go with our first one. Might not be the first one you think, but we're going to start with members, because we are a grassroots organization. Nothing happens in Rotary without our members. We don't even need those other 4 parts of the structure if we don't have members. We are the driving force behind everything that Rotary accomplishes in the world. And a member is either a Rotarian, a member of a Rotary Club, or a Rotaractor, a member of a Rotaract Club. Rotaract clubs are specifically for 18 to 30-year-olds, kind of a college student type of Rotary Club. And they were more recently brought in to the Rotary family, so they're officially members, and that puts us at 1.4 million members worldwide. Does anyone have a guess if you count all of our active, honorary, corporate, and Liverpool satellite members, how many are in the Baldwinsville Rotary Club? Feel free to throw out a guess.
84.
Jenny's trying to.
300.
70.
We are currently at 89.
Oh,
Yeah, so when you add up all the people who are part of the club, it's a lot. If you just looked at active members in the Baldwinsville Club only, you'd be at about 63. So by having corporate memberships, honorary memberships, and our satellite club, it really grows our number of members. Next in the structure is our clubs. There are over 46,000 Rotary and Rotaract clubs in the world, and each one has kind of its own style. No 2 clubs are going to be alike. They all have their own traditions, service projects, ways of running their meetings, ways of operating their clubs. There are bylaws that we follow, but our club bylaws are pretty customizable. So you'll find all kinds of interesting and different things as you visit from club to club, even locally, but especially around the world. And the club is really for the member experience. That's where our members are doing the majority of their service and making connections while volunteering. Until you get involved at a higher level, really the club is what you know of most when you think of Rotary. And clubs are led by a club president. So do you think there are more Rotary clubs or McDonald's in the world? Any guess?
Rotary clubs. Rotary clubs.
The answer is Rotary clubs. I think people think that of a McDonald's as something that's in like every community, but even more so with Rotary clubs, especially now that we've joined together with all of our Rotaract clubs. That really put us over the top.
Right.
Here are our club president and president-elect. President is Bill Rosenthal, as we know. President-elect is the term we use for our president who's next in line. And you'll see that elect term in a lot of our leadership roles when we're talking about whoever's next in line. So our president-elect is Brian Walsh, and then his president-elect will be Jenny, which is what we were talking about earlier. Next in our structure, we're moving on up to the district. Districts are made up of clubs. Districts are named with a number. So we're in District 7150, and we have approximately 41 clubs in our district. The purpose of the district is to support club leaders. And your district is who provides the training to be a club leader, as well as ongoing resources and support from more experienced Rotarians who volunteer at the district level. And the leader of a district is called the district governor. Here is our district on the map in New York State. So you can see where the other districts lie. Ours goes north to Oswego, down to Tully, west to Auburn, and east to Dolgeville in the Adirondack foothills. And
Lizzie, I'm sorry, you said how many clubs are in the district?
41.
41, thank you.
And sometimes you'll hear the term Empire District, and that's a joining of the 4 main upstate New York zone districts. The Rochester District here, 7120, the Binghamton District down here, 7170, and then the Albany District here in 7190 join with us in the Syracuse District, 7150, to be the Empire District. And we do joint trainings for our president-elects and for our membership tools together. Sometimes you'll hear it called MD, which stands for multi-district. So you'll hear MD Membership Committee, that's the multi-district membership committee, or MD PETS, which is multi-district president-elect training seminar. And it's been a great way to expand our network of Rotarians and also, do a little bit of savings in terms of the cost of training by bringing everyone together. Luckily, we are the centrally located district, so they all come to us usually. Here's our line of leadership in our district, starting with our current district governor, usually called a DG. And that's Dana. He's the guy in black, not Elvis, but he's kind of a fun guy. So I thought I'd show you a fun picture of him. He is actually coming to Beeville on Friday because he ordered 2 pizzas for the Beeville Pizza Roundup. So that's exciting. Our district governor-elect, or DGE, is Jerry Seguin. He's with Fulton Noon Rotary, so he's right in our area. And again, district governor-elect means he's the next district governor, and he'll take office on July 1. Here's some terms that we don't use at the club level, so they might be new to you. DGN, or district governor nominee. That's the next district governor, the one after Jerry. And Elise Harris will be our DGN. She is from VBS Community Rotary Club out in the Sherrill area. And then the DGND, or the district governor nominee designate, is 3 years out. And that person is still to be determined for our district right now. Our district also has assistant governors. Our district is split into 7 different areas of 5 or 6 clubs in each. And each one is assigned an assistant governor. And they are kind of a conduit of information from the district to their clubs. And, we just kind of are divvying up the work and creating that extra connection to the district. And so here's the list of all of our assistant governors and the club that they hail from. Our assistant governor is Steve Osborne, and he's in Fulton Noon Rotary, but he actually lives here in Beeville. And here on the right, you can see all of the clubs in our area. So we are partnered up with Cato, the 2 Fulton clubs, and the 2 Oswego clubs. All the areas are geographically connected. So you can see we're kind of the northwest corridor. We also have a lot of other leaders in the district, one of which is on our call with us because Jenny's in charge of all of the assistant governors. So she's like the queen assistant governor. But we have a district, much like in the club, secretary, treasurer, immediate past district governor stays on the leadership team, just like our immediate past president stays on our club leadership team. And then you can see people who specialize in information about the foundation, membership, public image, youth exchange. That's how we make sure that there are people to provide resources and guidance to our clubs on those topics. Next up, we're moving up to the zone level in our structure. Zones are comprised of districts, and we are in zone 32. There are 34 in the whole world. The purpose of the zone is to, again, train leaders and provide resources, this time for the people who are leading at the district level. So you can kind of see the pattern here. The district helps the clubs, the zone helps the district, right? And a zone is led by a director. So here you can see a couple of maps. On the left is our zone 32, most of New York State, down into Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, includes New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts. And then you see this little fishhook looking shape here is Bermuda. Includes Bermuda for some reason. But there's already training and a cruise headed to Bermuda for zone training. So it's kind of cool to have that in our zone. And the zones, when it comes to resources, are typically paired up. So our sister zone is zone 28, which spans from Alaska all the way across Canada. And this little area that's zoomed in, so it goes down into Michigan and includes a little part of Northwest Pennsylvania. And it kind of fills in the rest of New York State here. We've got Maine. I mean, it's a huge zone.
And it's crazy how they divide it like that.
Yeah, and you can see the districts are outlined on here. So if you look, the entire state of Alaska is one district.
Yeah.
So when the district governor has to do all of their visits, they have to go around the whole state. It's kind of a big deal to be district governor in the northern country, I'll tell you what.
And they have their own airplane.
Yes.
You
they
have
do.
to.
Yeah, they have their own plane.
Yeah.
Here are our current directors, Valerie Wafer, whose name you'll see a little bit later on as well. This is her final year as the RI director for our zone. And Drew Kessler, who's actually from District 7210, State 1. He's from downstate, but he's from here in New York. And he's gonna be our director moving forward. Finally, we are on to Rotary International. So this one's going to take a little bit to go through because there's quite a few people working at the international level to support all of the structure that falls underneath of them on this list. So our Rotary International headquarters live in the city where our organization was formed by Paul Harris, and that's Chicago. Technically, the offices are in Evanston, Illinois, which is like part of Chicago. And their job really is to support every level of our organization. And they provide the guidance and sort of the guidelines to ensure that we continue to uphold Rotary's values and remain relevant in the world. And there are 3 groups of people who oversee our operations, including some who are paid staff. The first of the 3 we're going to go over is our board of directors, because these are the people you probably may have seen or heard of before. And that includes our RI president, who serves for 1 year, and a board of directors who are elected by our clubs every year at the Rotary International Convention. Probably didn't know that was happening, but our club does get 1 vote each year at the convention to cast to approve the nominated board members. And these directors serve a 2-year term. And you're going to see on the next slide, there's a whole lot of them, and their terms are all kind of staggered. So there's never like a whole brand new slate of people coming in, and we have some consistency and institutional knowledge being carried forward. And these are the people who set the policies for us and give us the guidance that we need as clubs. So here is our board of directors led by our current RI president, Shekhar Mehta. He's from India. And his vice president, there's that name again, Valerie Wafer. She's actually the current Rotary International vice president, as well as our director. And she is from Canada. And then we know our incoming RI president is going to be Jennifer Jones. We're very excited to have her, our first ever female president of Rotary International. And she is from Canada as well. And we have a
No
treasurer.
pressure.
And we have a treasurer, Burpee. And then I included the list of directors here, not because we know any of them or you might recognize the name. I just wanted you to see how international this group is. And there are people from all over the world who are coming together to serve and lead in Rotary for us. The next of the three groups that lead at Rotary International is the Board of Trustees, and their job is to manage the foundation, which is a very big task. We are a top-ranked international charitable organization who, by the way, just got another perfect score on Charity Navigator for the 14th year in a row. Only less than 1% of all organizations rated on Charity Navigator have that kind of tenure. And the people who serve as trustees are chosen by the RI president, and they serve a 4-year term. And again, the terms are staggered so that, you know, we're not having a brand new group of people come in every 4 years. We have people carrying on for consistency in our leadership. Here's our structure. If you see a little asterisk next to the name, that's a past RI president. And you can see there's a few on here. So that's, you know, shows that they're very experienced people who are serving and chosen as our trustees. Our chair currently is John Jern. He's a past RI president from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And his vice chair is Sang-Gu Yoon from Korea. And then next year, our chair, the chair-elect, will be Ian Risley. He's from Australia. He was a very fun past district governor too. John and Ian both have very different but fun accents. One from the South and one from Australia. And again, I list the trustees just so you can see they're from all over the world. And I can only imagine how amazing it would be to serve with such a diverse group of people and you know, get to make these connections in all the corners of the globe. Finally, the third group for the Rotary International structure level is the executive staff. And this is where we get into people who are paid to work for Rotary. And they manage everything that's going on at our Rotary International headquarters in Evanston, Illinois, plus all of our international offices listed here. They cover tasks like marketing, IT, hiring, legal services, overseeing our member services, and just being part of the leadership team as well. Overseeing all of this is our General Secretary and CEO, John Huko, who's from the Ukraine. John is actually a part of all three of these groups that I'm outlining here for you. I didn't list him on the other two, but he is a trustee and he is a director, kind of by default as being the CEO. And John's been our CEO for a little while now. He must be doing a very good job. His Deputy Secretary General is Michelle Berg. And you can see I listed here, you know, our CCO, our CFO, General Counsel. You see on the very bottom left column, the head of global people and talent is a fancy way of saying human resources. But these are sort of our key leaders in the executive staff. They all have teams of people that work for them, with them, covering everything that you would think like a normal business would need, right? People making sure that the website's working and that the logo looks good and that we're covered legally and that we have enough staff. All of those activities that you would have as a business, we have as an organization in our executive staff. And you might be surprised to find that many, but not all of them are Rotarians. It's certainly not a requirement that you be a Rotarian, but I think after a little while, they probably all drank the Kool-Aid and joined at some point. Here's a little visual summary for you all of the structure of Rotary, and really at the heart of it is our members. And then we go up to the club, which is part of the district, which is part of a zone, and we're all part of Rotary International. Are there any questions?
I just have a comment, and this is, you're doing an excellent job on this. I would like to see this as a program.
Okay.
Only because, and I think a lot of you, well, Jennifer, Jennifer Holman, you've been in for a little while. And I know Jen Jocelyn knows a lot of this, but I think that the membership would benefit highly from all of your things that you do. But I'd love to see this. And this right here, this slide is excellent. RLI should
Kind
get
of
this slide in.
summed it up.
Mhm.
Yeah, RLI should get this slide instead of what they use, which is the inverted triangle,
Right.
which I think is stupid, but that's just me. I like this much better.
Maybe
Mhm.
I'll make a more generic version and I'll send it to Deb.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would. Okay.
And then talking about how we as Rotarians can enhance being at the heart of the
Mhm.
clubs and just, I mean, this is amazing. It's a lot to digest.
Mhm.
Even taking notes, I'm gonna have to
Yep.
go over this and probably
Mhm.
rewatch, but you did a great job, Lizzie, breaking it down.
Right.
You know, it's just incredible what Rotary has accomplished and what continues to accomplish.
Yeah, we're not old white men anymore.
No.
Mhm.
Yes, we are getting things done. And in terms of getting involved at these different levels, I did try to look up like what are the requirements to be chosen as like a trustee on the foundation.
Right.
Example. I didn't find anything that was really straightforward. But I can tell you, to be a club president, you just have to be an active member in good standing. To be a district governor, you have to be an active member in good standing who has served as a club president before.
Right.
So that is a requirement. I don't know the requirements for being a director in the zone level, but I would guess you have to have been a district governor. And
Oh, yeah.
know that even our very young director, Drew Kessler, was a district governor in his district previously. So I'm going to guess that that's a requirement there. And honestly, once you've been a district governor, I think you can really, the sky's the limit after that. And you can become a director, become a trustee, become Rotary International president, which would be amazing. And when you're Rotary International president, you get your own apartment in Evanston.
I'm sure that it was said at one point, but do we know how long Jennifer Jones has been a Rotarian?
That's a great question. I'm sure we could look at her bio and see when she joined. But I think she's been in for a couple of decades.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She's very invested,
Mhm.
very passionate.
Yeah. And I think to be a really good leader at that level, you got to be adaptable. You got to
Mhm.
be able to travel. Jennifer goes all over the world, even during COVID times when it's been possible. She was in France. So I'm going to stop the recording now and we can